Hello, welcome back to my channel. So this is me another video lesson. Okay, so I'll be recording two or more lessons, no, just to make sure that I was able to catch up. I am able to catch up everything. Okay, so today's I'll be explaining another video lesson. Okay, this is again the subject is the life and works of Rizal. So I'll be talking about the early life and the family background of Dr. Jose Rizal. So let's get to know him. So let's get to know a slight background or a deeper background about him. So let's talk about first the family background of Dr. Jose Rizal. So Rizal's family belonged to the upper middle class society, with his father being a farmer and his mother a well-educated woman who was skilled in Spanish and a good reader. So they belong to the upper to middle class society. So they can afford to go to school in Europe. So it was Chudora who first recognized Rizal's intellectual prowess and nurtured it from an early age. So it was his mother who already noticed the intellectual prowess of Dr. Rizal, and his mother was skilled in Spanish and a good reader of literary works. So they belonged to an upper middle class society with his father as a farmer and a mother and a teacher. So a well-known educated woman. So the early education of Dr. Jose Rizal. So Rizal's education began at home. So under the guidance of his mother, Chodora, who taught him how to read and write. His thirst for knowledge was sent to a private school in Binian, run by Maestro Justiniano Aquino Cruz when he was just 9 years old. After completing his primary education, Rizal was sent to Ateneo Municipal de Manila, a prominent educational institution managed by Jesuits, to complete his secondary education. At Ateneo, he proved to be an outstanding student who excelled in all subjects and won numerous literary contests. Again, the early education of Rizal started at home. His mother was his first teacher, and he was sent to a private school during his elementary years in Binyan. And after completing his primary education, he sent to Ateneo Municipal de Manila to complete his secondary education. And again, that it was during this time that he also proved to be an outstanding student, and he excels in numerous literary contexts. So again, Rizal already had this intellectual prowess in literary works. How about the cultural background? So Rizal's exposure to Filipino folktales, indigenous traditions, and the Catholic faith played a significant role in shaping his perspective and identity. Rizal's early life and education played a significant role in shaping his worldview. So his keen sense of observation and his innate intelligence combined with his empathetic nature made him aware of the social inequalities and injustices inflicted upon his people, setting the stage for his later works on activism. So the cultural background of Rizal, uh, he was influenced by a lot of things, like the folk tales, indigenous traditions, religion, the Catholic faith. It influences how he viewed the world, how it was shaped by a lot of things. The perspective of Dr. Rizal was influenced by a lot of things. So in shaping his worldview, so he has his sense of observation and his innate intelligence made him aware of all the struggles that his Filipino people are experiencing. That's why in later part, he also became an activist or an activism. So the birth and family of Rizal. So Rizal, the real name of Rizal is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialunda. So it was a very long name. So known as Jose Rizal. He was born on June 19, 1861. He was born in Calamba, Laguna, a town south of Manila in the Philippines, during the Spanish colonial period. So again, the real name, the full name of Rizal is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialunda. So Rizal was the seventh of the 11 children of Francisco Mercado, Mercado, and Chodora Alonsa Rialunda. So there were 11. Just Rizal was in the seventh, you know, child. His family was of mixed origin with Malay, Chinese, and Spanish ancestry. So reflecting the multicultural fabric of the Philippines. So Francisco Mercado was a farmer who owned agricultural lands in Calamba and Binian. So the father of Rizal was a farmer. Despite being involved in agriculture, Francisco Mercado was considered a part of the middle class due to the prosperity achieved through his farming and land holdings. So when you belong to the middle class, you are known to be rich. Okay, so despite of being a farmer, he was still considered part of the middle class because of the he achieved a lot of earnings through his farming and land holdings. Chodora Alonsaria Lunda was a well-educated woman for her time. She was an important influence on Rizal, fostering his early interest in literature and learning. So his mother was a very well-educated woman. His father was a farmer. The Rizal siblings were, so we should familiarize with this people, no? There were 11, and Rizal was on the seventh, as seventh child. Saturnina, Pasiano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Jose, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, Soledad. So each member played a various roles throughout Rizal's life. So they had a very big family, 11 children, plus the parents and the mother. So there were 13 in the family. So most notable among them is Pasiano, Rizal's older brother, who was a companion and confidant throughout his life. Pasiano was a revolutionary, and his political belief had a considerable influence on Rizal. So Pasiano, the brother of Rizal, was a revolutionary. So Rizal was a little bit influenced about his political belief and views. The Rizal's family belonged to the Principalia, the local nobility, and they were well respected in the community. So the family of Rizal was very respected during those times. So Rizal's early life in a large and supportive family provided him with a secure base to pursue his education and develop the ideas that would later define his life and work. So because they belong to the middle class, so Rizal can choose to pursue his education and develop his ideas more. So the family influence on Rizal's ideals. So the family, so Rizal started with his own family. So the family played a crucial role in the formation of Rizal's political and ethical views. So growing up, Rizal was exposed to stories of injustice and abuses committed by the Spanish friars and the civil guards, which shaped his critical perspective towards the Spanish colonial rule. So he learned a lot of stories regards to social injustices. So it also shaped him. It also influences the way he viewed the Spanish colonial rule. His mother, Chodora E. Alonso Rialunda, was a major influence in his intellectual development. Because his mother also loved literary works, and his mother was a very well educated woman. She was a well educated woman who taught Rizal to read and appreciate literature at a young age. So at a young age, Rizal was already exposed with a lot of books, with a lot of literature and stories. His early exposure to literature awakened in him a passion for learning and writing, which would later guide his work as a novelist, poet, and essayist. So that's why at an early age, Rizal was already exposed with a lot of things, stories, books, literary work. So that's why he developed his intellectual ability when it comes to becoming a novelist, a poet, and an essayist. So Pasiano Mercado, Rizal's older brother, was another significant influence in his life. As a member of the propaganda movement, Pasiano held strong nationalistic views and was a critic of the Spanish colonial administration. Pasiano's revolutionary spirit greatly inspired Rizal and influenced his political belief. Pasiano also supported Rizal throughout his studies in Spain. His other sisters cared for him in various stages of his life and were emotional pillars of support. And again, Dr. Jose Rizal, uh, his older brother Pasiano, Dr. Jose Rizal idolized his brother when it comes to political views, and he really inspired Rizal to go to school, to pursue his studies. At the same time, his sisters also provide emotional pillars of support for Dr. Rizal. So ancestral heritage. So Rizal's family trace its roots to the Chinese immigrant named Domingo Lamco, who came to the Philippines from Amoy, China in the late 17th century. Lamco married a Chinese mestiza named Ines de la Rosa. Again, the ancestral heritage of Dr. Rizal, since they all belong to the mixed ancestry from China, from Malay. So Rizal's family traced its roots to the Chinese immigrant. It started from a Chinese immigrant named Domingo Lamco, who came to the Philippines and then got married to a Chinese mestiza, Ines de la Rosa. So, establishing the Chinese lineage in Rizal's ancestry. So, Rizal's ancestry came from the Chinese lineage. No? The Spanish surname Rizal, originally Rizal, meaning green fields, was adopted by the family later as per the decree of the Governor General Narciso Claveria in 1849, which mandated the adoption of the Spanish surnames among Filipinos. So again, because Rizal came from a Chinese lineage, so the surname of Rizal, originally Rizal, meaning green fields, was adopted because of the decree implemented the adoption of Spanish surnames among Filipinos. So they need to adopt Spanish surnames. That's why they also have this Rizal. So understanding Rizal's family background and the influences of his family members gives insight into the formation of his personal, political, and intellectual life. So again, Rizal established a Chinese lineage in Rizal's ancestry. So they need to use a Spanish surname among because there was a decree before that they need to adopt a Spanish surname among Filipinos. So because of these influences, because of a lot of background of influences, it gives insight to the formation of personal, political, intellectual life of Dr. Jose Rizal. So how about the environment? How about the environment and the social status? Jose Rizal was born and raised in a wealthy and respected family in Calamba, Laguna. Yeah, we belong to the upper and to middle class, and they belong to the ilustrados. They are the enlightened ones. So their wealth came from their prosperous farming business because, again, his father was a farmer, which was unusual because wealth was typically in the hands of the Spanish friars and officials or mestizos families who were engaged in business. Yeah, that's very unusual because during this time, wealth is more prominent in the hands of Spanish friars. So Rizal's family was part of the principals or the local nobility, which meant that they enjoyed a higher social status in their community. And the family of Rizal, they were well respected in their community. So their home was a large stone and hardwood house, which had an extensive library. Wow, extensive library. Diba Rizal loves to read and write? So this library was a gateway for Rizal to explore the world of knowledge. So because of this, their house, it had an extensive library. So again, it also brings a lot of intellectual prowess of Rizal to engage himself to the world, to explore the world of knowledge. So the collection of books ignited his love for learning and his interest in different fields of study, from languages and philosophy to natural and social sciences. Dr. Rizal was a very brilliant kid at an early age, 9 years old. So there was a strong intellectual prowess. So the family values and tradition. So the Rizal family was a close knot with a strong emphasis on education, integrity, and nationalism. Rizal's parents nurtured their children intellectual capabilities. It started from his mother, who was a well-known educated woman, and who taught Rizal about how to read and write and about appreciating literary work. So it started there. Dinner discussion often revolve around politics, philosophy, and literature, further strengthening his Rizal's cognitive and analytical skills. So when they had their dinner, so it purely focuses on discussions when it revolves around the politics. So it also awakened the mind and the heart of Dr. Rizal, and it developed the cognitive and analytical skills of Dr. Rizal because of that simple discussion within the family. So it brings a lot more knowledge during this time. So Rizal's mother, Teodora Alonza, was instrumental in kindling Rizal's love for knowledge. Imagine their house as had an extensive library. So if you are part of Rizal's family, so you will go there and read and write something and explore the world of knowledge. So teaching him his mother was very instrumental in kindling Rizal's love for knowledge, teaching him Spanish because his mother was good in Spanish, Latin, and the basic of the English language. She also taught him about morals, values, and the love for his country. So that's why it brings about his creativity and analytical skills. Rizal's brother Pasiano was a mentor also because again Pasiano was a revolutionary, also has his own political belief. He was a mentor and confidant who introduced him to liberal and nationalistic ideas. As a revolutionary, Pasiano served as a link between Rizal and the reformist group advocating for the Philippine independence. So again, Pasiano also played a very significant role in the life of Dr. Jose Rizal. It brings about his becoming liberal and nationalist ideas, giving him a link between Rizal and the reformist group in the struggle of achieving independence. So the early signs of exceptional talent. So as what we all know, at the age of 9, his family can still already see the intellectual prowess of Dr. Rosa Rizal, especially his mother. So there was an early signs of exceptional talent. So even at an early age, Rizal exhibited signs of exceptional intelligence and talent. He expressed interest in literature because of his mother, I think, philosophy and arts. So at the age of 8, Rizal wrote his first poem, Sa Aking Mga Kabata. So in English, to my fellow children, emphasizing the significance of the national language as a symbol for freedom. At an early age of 8 years old, Rizal can wrote of his first poem. It was a sign of exceptional talent and intelligence. His family support and influence, coupled with the social and political environment of his time, helped shape the convictions and ideals he would carry throughout his life. Because of his family support and dedication, because of his family's teachings, Rizal became the best version of himself, and he became a good uh, hero. He became a good person because of his family support and influence. How about the religious influence? So Dr. Rizal was raised in a Catholic family. So being raised during the Spanish colonial period in the Philippines, Rizal's family was a Catholic. They were a devoted Catholic. So the church had a considerable influence on every aspect of life. So from education to social interaction. However, this very religious context, marred by the abuses of Spanish friars, would later play a significant role in Rizal's reformist ideas. And again, Rizal was influenced by religious affiliations, his family, his education, the people around him, the support that was given to him, the schools that he was in. So there's a lot of influences where Rizal become the our Philippine hero. Why he was fighting for freedom. Why he wrote a lot of things. Rizal loves to do a peaceful reform. He wants to right the ill of the society. He loves to write poem. He was influenced by his mother in the field of literary works. He wrote his first poem at the age of 8. So at an early age of 9 years old, his family can already see the intellectual prowess of Dr. Rizal in the different fields of in every aspect of his life, in his journey. And his parents were also very supportive towards him. His family support him, his brothers and his sisters. So that's why Rizal's early life and background became a most significant part of his life because of his family background and the support of other people towards his journey. Okay, so that's the end of my lesson 2 discussion about results, early life, and background. Hopefully, you get something out of this very quick discussion. So let's appreciate the beauty that Dr. Rizal teaches us, the beauty of acknowledging the importance of family, the influence of family, your affiliations, your siblings. So it was all of these things that Rizal became the best person in Philippine history. One of the most well-known hero in the Philippine history. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you get something out of this very quick discussion. And I'll be posting more, so please stay tuned and please do like, share, and subscribe to reach a lot of students, a lot of viewers who are also interested in getting to know the life and works of Dr. Jose Rizal. Thank you and God bless you.